for my project in the literature review, the 5 questions I asked was, what is an acid that helps us conduct electricity? And what are electrochemicals and the different kinds? And what are some of the different foods that contain acid? How does a potato compare to a lemon in terms of voltage that they're able to produce? And can a compost bin produce enough electricity to run a clock?
Okay, so let's start with the first question. What are some things you learned about in your literature review?
So the main thing that what's in like acid that helps us produce electricity based on it is electrochemical cells. And in electrochemical cells, these types of cells help us conduct electricity because of the galvanic and voltaic acid cell.
Okay.
Those are the main cells that help us produce electricity.
Did you know anything about those when you first started this project? So this was pretty cool to
Yeah.
you. Talk about how you started testing voltaic cells in regards to your project.
For this, I really didn't focus on the cells. I mainly studied like on the actual like
Okay.
pH and voltage that they would give off.
What's that blue thing there?
The blue thing is the potato holder. So this is what I used. I actually put real potatoes and I put it and I tested it to see how long it would go. And this actually went like, well, it could have gone longer, but like I took it off in like more than 36 hours.
Really?
Yeah.
And it was completely powering the clock. Were you able to test it with a voltage meter and see what was the output on that?
The output on the voltage,
On the
the potato, that had a positive voltage. So
Okay.
and the highest voltage that I got was a 0.04.
Awesome. So it actually was putting off good voltage.
Yeah.
Talk to me about some of the other literature review stuff. So the acids and food, acids and foods.
Acids and foods? Okay. So the different types of foods that have acid, like such as lemon, they have citric acid. And as I did in my research, I didn't really know that potato, their acid doesn't really help produce electricity, but their starches and like salts and those are their main key that help them produce the electricity. And also the zinc and the copper plates, they cause the reaction to make the...
Which one's which? I know you can show me those, the zinc and the copper. Yeah, you can use that.
This is the zinc,
That's
the gray one.
the gray one, okay.
And the
so
copper is the...
Definitely. And so one's a positive, one's a negative. Which one is which?
The zinc is the positive one,
Okay.
and the copper.
And the copper is the negative. Good. Okay, and what else did you study in your literature review?
Oh, the main thing, which is the main purpose of our project, is that kind of compost produce electricity.
And so what's the need or the problem that you were trying to figure out?
I was trying to figure out if I researched that if acid can help with such as like lemons and other types of foods, they can help produce electricity. What if I could put a bunch of different types of food? And I know that different types of food drop in pH as they decompose or biodegrade. So then I knew that they help produce.
Excellent. So talk to me about retesting and redesign. Where you started with your testing and then where you ended up with your creation, please.
So for my testing, I started with the potato. I started with the voltage, which already says it mainly stayed on the positive, but
And what's the red database on that?
The red is the compost. That's the...
Oh, okay, cool. So you actually did your first test, and that's the blue, and you compared then your voltage to the, okay.
And you can see how like it like dropped like the...
And is that as it was decomposing? So how many days is that?
That was like I think a good 5 days into
Oh, wow.
decomposing, yeah.
Wow, so you kept that voltage. And what kind of stuff was in your compost?
I made it put strawberries, I put green tomatoes, I put carrots, I put like spinach and salad, like salad leaf.
Just all old stuff. And I know it got smelly as it went on,
Yes.
but what was the high point? What day was the high point of that data where it actually produced more, it looks like, than the potato did? Yeah, how many days into it was that?
That was like 5 days. Yeah.
5 days into it, and it was producing more than the table did. Talk to me a little bit about the pH. What did you think the pH measurements was important for?
The pH was important because the lower the pH, the more acidic it is. So then I knew. I really didn't expect the pH for this to be like that, like low of pH. Like and then as I researched, if it's between like a 5 or a 6, like it's not considered acidic, and it best results like you won't be able to produce electricity.
Right.
But mine were between a 3 and a 4.
Wow, so it was producing really base stuff. Now the bottom one again,
The compost.
that's the compost.
And the potato, whereas the potato, and that proves how acid doesn't really help the potato conduct electricity because that pH down was between a 6.2.
So it's not the acid, it's actually the starches. Yeah, and that's very cool. So what you thought you were starting with actually measured something else. So what are some conclusions? Let's go with the, I see the electricity lifespan. Talk to me about those conclusions.
So the electricity lifespan, like time didn't permit me to they test how long the source of electricity for a potato would last because it lasted so long. Whereas the electricity on the compost, you can notice that after a while it will start to fade out, like the clock. So then I knew that that's how.
So define fade out. Was the brightness going to
the
fade?
brightness.
Oh, the brightness
Like,
of the actual clock.
when you clock, it's like dark, and then it turns on to bright.
Excellent. What, if you were to retest, if I were to say you have 1 year to do this experiment all over, gather as much data as you could over 1 year, what are some things you would change?
Some things I would change is to keep constantly adding compost.
Compost, okay. Would you add different compost as you went? Okay.
And make definitely the compost bigger. And I think one thing to help with this though is add like cat litter.
Cat litter. And where would you add that? To the bottom, to the top? Would you make a filter?
I think I add it to the bottom.
Yeah. So that means you'd probably, would it be underneath of where you have the, so you put cat litter in and then the stuff would go on the bottom. And I was also thinking some kind of a, so you didn't have to open it up and open it up and down maybe. So something that you could maybe put the cat litter in, or not the cat litter, the compost in, so you wouldn't actually have to open the whole thing up. The other option would be getting plastic. There's plastic that's scented now, and there's paint that's scented. So you can paint with paint that absorbs smells, and maybe painting the whole thing with a scented thing. What would you like to see this become? I mean, it's a great invention. How could you connect this to other disciplines or other uses?
I'd like to see it come to make the world like much greener, more green.
Talk to me about what you, how you
Because
use it.
you know that in compost produces electricity, we could use that to potentially charge our phones.
Yep.
Like in colleges, we could set up like big composts where students could charge their phones or their laptops where they're constantly using them.
Restaurants too?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you guys have ever been in a restaurant, but you can't find a plug to plug your phone in. If they had out back a charging station compost and the restaurant was kind of composting that. I would even think, and this is something you might want to talk to the Davis Street Transfer Station about, this could be actually worked into their organic, the building that we had from their, remember the organic building that they had?
Yeah.
I'm curious if you could somehow power more, because they just have that giant compost there in a whole building. If I could please see, so one last question. What would this motivate you to do in the future, or did this connect to anything that you'd like to research in the future?
This it definitely makes me want to research more like the different types of acids and the amount of electricity each type of specific kind can produce.
Excellent. So I could see you continuing this in the future. Can you show me please your dated records and your development sketches and then your research paper with the citations?
There,
Perfect. Perfect. Awesome, awesome. And open it to the citation for me, thank you. Only thing I still need to see. Next up is going to be